Hello, everybody. Welcome to the DePINed Podcast. I'm your host, Tom Trowbridge. I'm thrilled to be with Ting, the founder of PowerPod. And PowerPod is, one of the groups out there revolutionizing energy by doing last mile delivery. So let's talk to Ting and hear more about the details of what he's doing. So Ting, welcome.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for the invitation. It's great to have me today.
Well, tell us about what you're up to at PowerPod.
PowerPod. I founded the PowerPod in 2022. In that time, there's no this kind of buzzword like DePIN, Machify. All what I thought was very simple idea. How can we use blockchain to encourage people share their private charger to be a public one, just like Airbnb? So at that time, Helium and Filecoin inspired me. So which means we already have this kind of technology to give people incentive to to give people enough incentive they can share this kind of facility to be a universal accessible EV charger. So PowerPod actually we built about 2 years, and right now is we want to connect more electric vehicle cars and also public charger to be a more universal platform for everybody. Yes.
And that's a great ambition, and electric cars are, growing like this, and there's more need for charging, I'm sure. Are you market specific? Are you focused on any country, any geography? Tell us about how you're rolling it out.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I believe we made lots of mistake. At the first beginning, we shipped over 16 different countries, and like United States, European, and many countries in Southeast Asia. But right now, we realized in different country the requirements, different electrician requirements is quite different, and also just like Airbnb or Uber, we have to build a scale model in a small city. So right now we start from a very small city like in Dubai and Macau, and one city in Indonesia. So yeah, we right now we focus at several different cities, but it follow one standards. We have different charging standards globally, but we have to start from one specific standards. So this kind of standards we follow one protocol, and it's universal in like many countries in Southeast Asia. But fortunately, in Dubai, they also follow these standards. So yeah, right now we start to sell our hardware in September this year, and we have 3 cities right now.
Well, what's interesting to me about that is that, I've heard even groups that are doing more energy distribution or even energy transmission or creation always talk about energy as a local market first. And I got to think that with charging, that's even more the case, because you need to have both a number of vehicles and a number of chargers in a proximity for this to work. It doesn't help if you've got a million vehicles and they're spread over different countries and your charger all over the place. You don't have a density, because you need density, I'm guessing, for this to make sense for people. So you're going to launch city by city, I suppose. Is that right?
I think so. We have to start from one city, but the interesting part is electricity is a commodity with only one SKU and no storage. So our energy system more like a broadcasting system from the grid to consumer parts. So I think actually right now we have to keep the balance of the supply and demands. You know, to be honest, like China, the investing model is everybody know, and the government control everything. So the charging infra is quite hard because of its business model. Uh, it's quite different from the gas station. Is when you build a gas station, you can make money through selling cigar, alcohol, uh, all these kind of value added services. But by when you install a charge service platform or charge service station, you can only make money by charge service fee. So I think actually the business model is location based. It's a real estate business model, just like 7-Eleven or McDonald's or Starbucks. So it's a little bit difficult for private equity to enter this area. Like just like I said, in China, the government they good at this kind of infra, so they have more long-term investment, all this kind of the patience, like 10 years or 15 years, but it doesn't work for many countries in the world. So I think actually that's why we use DePIN to encourage people to share their existing private charger or wallbox piles, all these kind of thing. So I think PowerPod is we don't want to replace like ChargePoint or Tesla. We are, we differentiate our platform is complementary to this existing platform. Like there will be more access point, they people can use it. We don't use it for fast charger because in our platform, in most occasions, there's a slow charger. It's compatible to Tesla fast charger. We encourage our homeowners. They always have this kind of the slow charger or AC charger. So it's so when you move to one specific area where there is no charger, our services is the only choice. So I think actually at this point, it just makes sense.
Yeah, one thing I was speaking to somebody else in the industry about is that what's cool about creating this type of network is you're on everybody's side because the electric car companies want to have a bigger charging network. Governments want to have a big charging network. So you're complementary. You're not actually displacing any industry, really. And so I would think maybe there's some for-profit charging things, but those are relatively small, I think, and they're generally public. So it seems to me that this is actually a rare DePIN project that is creating a new scalable benefit for a lot of existing big businesses.
Yes, you're right. Because I live in China in past the 6 years. Uh, Now I moved to Detroit right now, so I can see the difference in different in the actually in different areas. In China, actually, at the first beginning, there's many company that want to move to this industry. But like I said, finally they realize the business model is cracked down uh, because they're too high cost. The one is real estate, parking space. Another one have to maintain all these kind of facilities. Uh, and their revenue model is quite, lack of these kind of value added services. So so right now in China, I can give you a number. There are over 25 million electric cars in China, and the total number of the public charger is 3.339 million. And then you know what? 80% of this charger is a slow charger. So why the government realized the charger should be a public service, public goods, or public infra, because the charger is extension of the grids. The charger is the last mile of the grids, which means if every electric car in the future, every car is the electrification car in the future, the grid cannot support every charger for every home or everyone. So there is a number, every year the China government will invest about 1 trillion, 1.5 trillion RMB every year. It's about 300, 200 to 250 billion US dollar every year. So it cannot support every car or have car owner have their private charger. So that's why 80% of public charger right now is slow charger and AC charger. And 85% of charging demands was fulfilled by slow charger. So if other countries just follow the step that China electric car industry in the past 10 years, I believe we will need $1 trillion to upgrade our grids. Most of the country, the grids was established half century ago. Like in New Zealand, the car to public ratio is 96:1. So why the grid cannot support so many public charger or fast charger is they have invested lots of money to upgrade the grids. But I think it doesn't work. You cannot support only for the electric car industry to replace their whole grids facility. So I think actually one solution is use DePIN to encourage people to use blockchain or DePIN to encourage people to build this kind of infra.
Well, it's build it. It's also monetize what they already have. It's a
Yes, you're
combination of
right.
both, right?
Yes.
So help me understand then, since you mentioned the incentivizing, how do you think about the token economics and that incentivization? Do you get tokens for being a driver, or for adding your charging network? How do you architect or what's your plan for that system?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think we need blockchain because we do not want to. If we a company, like I said, our business model will also follow Web2 counterparty. We cannot make it work. So we have to build all this kind of infra on blockchain. This is the first thing. Then the related question is why we need a token. Because I think actually in PowerPod the case, we are not crypto native. We are crypto friendly, but token native. So we have two types of token. One is the utility token. The utility token is only generated by mining machine, like this kind of the charger or adapter, all this kind of the effective work. So when people give actually connection or consume electricity through the network, they will generate utility token. But we also have governance token. So the governance token, like MakerDAO, is very simple. It's just for making the progress for the protocol, but also it captures the value from the network. So compared to web counterparty, all these kind of aggregators, they will charge for 20 to 30%. Just like I said, because their business revenue is quite small, so they need to their take rate is to 30 to even higher. Like in Beijing and Shanghai, it's higher to 35 to 40%, and a little bit higher by higher after day by day. But as you know, in a decentralized fashion, it's not for profit. It's just for provide this kind of the public infra for everybody. So we only take 5% right now at the first beginning. But I believe in the future we will take to 3, even lower to 1% to make the network grow. So I think actually the government token won't make the progress like which specific country or which specific city we want to move in and what kind of the status we should open, and maybe we should open the whole design of the hardware. And the most important part is the take rates. I believe in the future the take rates will be shrink down. So there's two types token, and utility token and the governance token. But how can people change their utility token to governance token? We will open auction pool every day, and you can invest your utility token to governance token if you want to make a little bit money, and it's okay. So we use this kind of two token model or design to make it workable in many countries.
And where does value from the token come from? Is there revenue associated with it, or scarcity? Where, and I'm not sure whether that would be the utility or the governance token, but what drives demand for the token?
I think our goal is very simple, to build something useful for other people, whether he or she are familiar with crypto or not. So right now we spot two types of the payments methods. One, we embedded the PayPal and the Strip, the third-party fiat money payments. So when you charge or PowerPod the charge station in many countries in provided by different peoples, you have to pay. You have to pay the service fee, and also the electricity. You have to pay it. There's two types of the fees. We cannot change the price for the electricity, but the community members will charge a little bit of the service fee. So, like I said, every charge service fee, the purple network will grab 5% right now. In the future, it will be like much lower. But we did not touch fiat money or USDC or USDT payments directly, because we are not a profit company. We do not handle all this kind of money flow. So the provider have to stake a little bit of the government token. So after every charge station, we will burn a little bit of the government token. So in this basement, the network or the protocol itself will capture money, capture value day after day, and it will be grow by itself.
Really interesting. And how much needs to be staked to each of those charging stations? How is that determined?
It definitely depends actually the business itself. Like if you the the traffic or the quality of your charger station is very good. Like every day, every there will be 3 to 5 cars charge on your location. You maybe stake to $30 to $35 to the network. So it's quite. I think it's a fair enough, because one charge station you will get about uh 10 to 50 US dollar just 1 hour or 2 hours. So I think actually 5% right now. Actually, you can buy an NFT. The minimal price for NFT is 35 US dollar. So you just stake one NFT, which means 35 US dollar. I think is enough. If you make more money, you need to stake more token. But uh, but if you do not make money, and the NFT belong to you.
Interesting. All right. So the more you make, the more you need to stake.
Yes, I think so. Yes. And the money, all this kind of money go to the treasure DAO.
The 5% goes to the Treasury DAO, or the 95?
5%. 95 belong to you. It's a peer-to-peer
Okay.
transaction system. It's just like Bitcoin. Like I
Fine.
said,
Fine.
we
Fine.
do
Fine.
not
Yeah.
touch the
Fair.
fiat
Fair. Fair.
money.
Gotcha.
Yes, right.
But that also requires anyone with a charging station to have to stake, right?
Yeah.
So that does require them to buy the token, know how to do it, right?
Yes. At the first beginning, you don't need to buy it. You can earn it. You can charge to yourself, or provide the services, and or we also provide a tracking mini app in Telegram. So if you don't have a car, if you don't have a charger, you also can earn a little bit of token through the network. Uh, because I believe all this kind of the effective work is useful for the network growth. So at the first beginning, maybe people just can earn a little bit money, because if we can prove the network is, we can build the network by a decentralized fashion. I believe that actually after TGE, people will realize that it's I think it's an effective way. So at the first beginning, people can make money. They don't buy the token; they earn the token.
Really interesting. Okay, and that's great thing to do for sure. What help us understand scale? What do you think it takes to have a successful city? How many charging stations? How many vehicles? What density? How do you think about what's a success?
Yes, I think actually the cold start is very challengeable, especially for PowerPod, because if you have a amount of the charger supply, you have to find enough demands. So right now, actually, um, I think actually, how can I say? We fortunately we have. I think actually in our network we have over 180,000 charge station location in different locations, and it will provided by the other people. So it's just the POI per point of interest. They right now they did not buy hardware to connect actually this kind of the uh, private charger, but it's just the proof of location. So we provide a reputation off-chain reputation system to encourage the people near the charger to get a check-in and get a token reward. But there's a filter like 100,000 POI. There will be 10,000 charger, and the 10,000 charger will be 1,000 electric cars. So there's this kind of the speed filter. Help PowerPod right now we have 3,000 charger in, like I said, the three cities, and there are over 8,000 electric active car every month, and 40% of them are active every week. So I think it's a good right now, and compared to web counterparty, our charge service fee is about 30% lower than actually our competitors, traditional competitors. So I think actually it's not enough, Tom. It's not enough to go to scale right now. I think maybe next quarter or next half year, if we can double the supply, like I say, there's 5,000 of charger, or there will be 10,000 of electric cars. It will be keep a balance of this supply and the demands. I think the whole network will be run automatically.
When you say 8,000 active cars, is an active car a car that drives or a car that uses one of the chargers in your network?
It's active cores. It's active cores in the network. It's not active users.
But that are using, but not actually users. And so then out of curiosity, out of 8,000, how many use a PowerPod charging station in a month or a week or whatever metric you have?
I think actually right now it's 30 to 40% of them are active to use the charge station every week or every month. Because one point I want to make it clear: if you use your charger by yourself, it's also active nodes. So right now, the share model, although we open the share model at day one when they buy charger, but in many cases they just use by themselves, because their neighborhood did not notice there is a public charger. So we need more time to actually make people aware. Actually, we have a charger here. So yeah, but
Interesting.
yes, but actually right now there's many signals came from the community. Actually, they encourage their neighbors to charge in their actually public charger. They don't need to, you know, meet by themselves. They just put a QR code, and there is a AdWords branding, and people will know there is a charger at how many price, what the price for it. They just actually charger and start it with a pay after the charge station. They pay a little bit of money, then move out. It's okay.
Well, really, that is, by the way, a great model to get use up originally, is getting people to use their own and have the crypto incentives for model kick off that way. So I think that that's really interesting. Let's back up and talk about you. Let's talk about Ting. What's your background? How did you get involved here? Help us understand kind of the path that got you here.
I moved to crypto in 2017 because at that time I invested a media platform, and they invited Vitalik to China, and I occasionally actually get a ICO allocation of Ethereum, and Ethereum inspired me, and in the 8th of 2017 I started my own project named Quarkchain. So Quarkchain, I was co-founder and the CBO of Quarkchain. Uh, at that time, Quarkchain is very interesting. Quarkchain, Zilliqa, Harmony Protocol, also Matic. Right now is Polygon, and another project Near Protocol. All these kind of protocols were named Ether Killer at that time. But I believe we all killed by Ether because we lack of the community, right? So as a CBO, I built an ecosystem for Quarkchain. So I try to encourage over 300 different projects to build on Quarkchain. But that, Tom, the time is not right. The time is not ready. So at the end of 2022, I realized the TV product is coming, because we have all these kind of stacks like ZK, L1, L2, and the TPS or behind every level 1 is much good. And also this kind of the middleware like AI Cloud, all these kind of things. So the barrier for entrepreneur to want to build something real product to resolve some real problem actually give this kind of the product to for everybody to use in every day. I think actually at that time, at 8 of 2022, I think the timing is ready. So I believe actually my own passion is to build product. I believe product can talk, but we should talking products, not all this kind of narrative, all this kind of the you know money making stories. We sooner or later we have to trust what kind of value or what kind of product for other people. So uh, so part of the Quartz uh, is separate to set up a new side project. Uh, we start a PowerPod. So at that time, I was advisor for a manufacturer based in Shanghai, and this factory is number one provider for Tesla home charger. At that time, they already shipped 1.6 million slow charger for Tesla users, and at that time we realized our business model, is not good, because we manufacture all this kind of thing. We take care of all this kind of maintenance, but we want to do, hey, how can we use a network to build actually a infra for use our, all these kind of charging facilities. Like I said, 85% of the charge demands was fulfilled by slow charger, and 80% of this slow charger, people use it twice every week. So which means 5 days, other 5 days, they just sleep. And not everyone can own a private charger. So why this kind of charger cannot be public or shared to other people? So rather than all, I want to build PowerPod. So PowerPod, I think the whole story is very simple. It's not complicated as all this kind of crypto, other narratives or industry. It's just a small product, but it works. Still, PowerPod is at its early stage.
Really interesting. Well, one thing I agree with you is very strongly, and Fluence, we're of this mindset that product is critical, and you have to invest the time, the resources to building and then selling the product, because people are not just going to come and figure it out for you. And so that's been a focus for us since we've launched the protocol, and we know our need to build up a material business development team to be out there in front of people, because productization and then sales is very important. And a lot of L1 protocols, as an example, really thought they were so good, customers come and start building on them by themselves. And that's not how it works.
Yes.
And what I also agree with you there is that you mentioned this a bit earlier, but I think overall DePIN has the potential to generate a lot of revenue, and this to sort of, basically differentiate itself from the rest of crypto, not just from the revenue, but also from the token economics that comes with revenue. It's a little bit harder for your system versus others because, for example, the buy and burn, where they generate revenue and buy 80% of the value of that in tokens and burn them, that to me is a really compelling link between revenue and token. A little bit harder for more marketplaces like yourself and like where we are. We deal with it via stake, but anyway, it's just a slightly it's a different setup. But the productization I agree with fully.
Yes, it's how can I say? Although actually we are right now in bull market, and people seems to care about all these kind of the serious thing. Like many investors, community members think PowerPod is too fucking serious. But like I say, I already work in the industry for the past 7 years. I know what the future and what are my own passion. So that's why I can still working in the project. Uh, I would say why we work in DePIN and what DePIN bring to the industry. What if there is no DePIN? What are the difference? I think for the first time, DePIN have this kind of ability to connect many devices like Helium or Filecoin or even Bitcoin. It can connect over 1 million IoT, all these kind of the devices or facilities. I think before, in every internet technology or in every internet sector, there's always over 100 billion company, but there's only one sector, which is IoT. There's no this kind of a company. So why it doesn't happen in past the 10 to 50 years? Because think about it, if the two factory, one is Siemens and one is Bosch, they cannot share the data because the data belong to different equities, entities. So, but in blockchain like demo, we don't need to talk to Tesla or Toyota uh, at the same time. We just talk to users. So if the user like it, we can encourage actually the terminal users to share their data. So the core data platform can do this kind of thing. So this is what the DePIN or what this kind of the blockchain bring to the world. Another thing, like I said, the DePIN or blockchain have the ability to connect over 100,000 or even 1 million or even like a part. I believe in the future, if there's a platform linked over 2 million or to 5 million public charger, it only worked in blockchain and in a DePIN fashion. So that's still hard right now. We did not prove it. We did not prove that we can provide a user experience good as Web2 counterparty, or even much lower price or much better quality services compared to these kind of the competitors. But the first principle behind this, prove it works. We just need a little bit of patience and building. So 2024 is only the beginning and open actually these kind of the topics. But I think I believe we still need 1 year or maybe 3 years to do this kind of thing.
How much time do you think you need? What's your goal for scaling? What are some numbers, number of cities? What do you plan to do in 2025? What should people expect from PowerPod?
I think we need another 6 months or 9 months to prove actually the whole model works. If the whole model works, we don't actually follow the scale, because the secret is behind the whole industry. If we drop out of the box of the Web3, so think about it. We have 2.2 billion gas car globally, but right now we have only 40 million electric car globally. So it's only 2%. So I believe in the future, because actually the supply chain behind the electric car, every car in the future will be electrification or new energy, other kind of energy. So there's much of space for actually growing. But like I say, we do not have this kind of the parking space, or you wait for every country's grids to be upgraded. So the private charger right now, over 40 million electric car, we had 60 million private charger. So if only a little bit of portion of this private charger can be shared, it will be a great contribution to the whole charging infra. So for long-term run, I believe PowerPod can exist, maybe 5 years, 10 years, or even more. Uh, but right now, what we are doing right now is actually prove the whole model can be worked.
Gotcha. So there's not really specific goals, but you think it can be very, very big, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. Yeah.
You've also, as part of this, you referenced earlier making some mistakes, like talking about things globally, now realizing to go by a city by city. I think that's a fascinating lesson. Are there any other lessons like that that you can think of?
I think actually another thing is it really about our team, because we want to build decentralized platform just like Bitcoin or early Ethereum mining platform. Our team want to move back to all this kind of technology which they are familiar in Web2 or other kind of the technology. But I believe actually we have to follow the decentralized, because the whole network only works while the whole team is disappear. We are not a company. We not for profit. We have to build this kind of deep in Legos. So we try many different actually stacks. So we use IoTeX Web3 stream, and we build our actually data in Quills decentralized relational database, and we use streamers, data pub and sum. We have to link them together, and we also want to use Demos DID, and because in our specific industry there's upstream and downstream, it cannot work only by PowerPod, but which means our small team have to take care about all these kind of the Legos and plug them
Infrastructures, yeah, yeah, yeah.
infrastructure. It's a little bit harder to challenge everybody. This is one thing. I think another thing I want to mention is supply chain. So we changed actually different 8 times uh, for our hardware design, because we designed the whole adapter in house, and like I said, there's many knowledge we are not touched before. So every time a little bit change, we have to change the whole hardware design. Uh, so which means we have to handle all the supply chain. It almost exhausted the whole team. We have, but if we want it to work, we have to make our hands dirty. But right now, so far so good. We already actually have 3 SKU, two in United States, but we did not sell to United States right now, and we focus EU status because, like I said, EU status are compatible to Southeast Asian. So, but actually, Tom, I think still it's the wrong way because like DeFi, every like if you build a Uniswap swap, and I believe actually your token model sucks, I can fork you to be a sushi swap, and I can make it upgrade. But in DePIN, if you don't like PowerPod economic model, you cannot fork PowerPod just in one night or 1 week. You have to do all this kind of thing like hardware design, supply chain by yourself. So it stop the upgrade of the whole protocol. So I always think, why can we open source our not only this kind of the smart contract or hardware software or protocol? I think we should open source our hardware. But right now, yeah, I believe one day we will do it. But right now we have to actually make the whole model works. This is what the lesson I learned in past the 1.5 to 2 years.
Well, what I find interesting about all this is, I mean, I get the open source, I get all, and believe all of that. I'm just thinking about the deployment though, because you also will have the thing that's unique about what you're doing, not unique, but there are other people doing things similar. They're probably not as city focused, but there will be people looking at your, token model, everything else, and if that's easy to copy, or if they want to copy it, they will quite easily with no protections. But the hardware, I don't know. Maybe that's relevant. Maybe it's not, because I thought in this area people can install their own charging stations. So you probably have a lot of different hardware that you support. Would be my guess.
Yes, I think so. So right now our primary focus is actually the connectivity or interconnectivity, different charger. So we build adapter. So which means if you have a Tesla charger, you can share it to not Tesla car. So this is our first actually problem we want to resolve.
Well, listen, for people that want to join the network, I guess right now they got to be in one of those two cities, but there are probably people on here from Dubai, or Abu Dhabi. Tell people how to follow you, how to stay in touch, how to learn more, and how to track your progress. They know when you're coming to a city near them.
Actually, for the other people, if you do have a car, if you do have if you're not EV car owners, you can actually check in our Telegram mini app, and you can, like I said, there are over 180,000 actually charge points everywhere, and you get check in and get actually information back to the network. This is one way. And if you have a car, uh, like in this kind of cities, you can join our network to make money very soon. And in many other countries, we encourage people to be an early adopter because we need to do lots of the tests and experiment. We want to know actually this kind of specific actually grids or electrician what was the difference. We want to get enough information to make the product compatible in many countries in the future. And we also give a token incentive and maybe some grants. We right now we have actually several guys in Florida and Michigan. They and also one guys work live in Canada. They also actually work for the project. Uh, I think it's good. You can check our Twitter. account, PowerPod, PowerPod, our official account. Actually, we, everything in PowerPod, the Twitter account or Telegram account, and we have a small group in Discord.
And then great. And last question: what other projects in DePIN do you like? Do you follow? Do you think are interesting? Anything else you're paying attention to in the space?
Yeah, I think actually I like actually what GeoDonate and their work actually all these kind of the geolocations, and if they have over like 4,000 or 8,000 different locations, they can provide a more precise location services compared to
I think they're at 10. I think they're at 10,000.
10,000. Yeah, I think 10,000 is enough. It's not
Yeah.
100,000, right? So 10,000 is
No, but they
enough.
don't need 100,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing I like demo. I like demo's business model. Like I said before, you think about it. There's no data platform can negotiate with Tesla and Toyota and BYD at the same time. But right now we have this kind of the, like I'm a developer. PowerPod can use DID and like over maybe 100,000 Tesla car in the future through demo ID. So it's a game changer in this industry. And I think also there is a small project. Still, they are not. They do actually the Euro test. The small devices that you buy it, actually attach it in your toilet, and it can taste all these kind of the healthy
Wow. Okay.
healthy data every day. Although it's a very single, very very specific data, but it's a time series database. So day after day, year after year, they will gather lots of data. All these kind of area, different countries, different populations. So it's a like I said, we don't need to talk to hospitals or all these kind of big pharmaceutical company. We just use this platform to get this kind of the healthy data from other people. So I think the projects are also very interesting. Yeah, there's
Super cool.
several projects actually working in DePIN sector. Although right now we are still at a infancy stage, but I believe we have the future.
Listen, thank you so much for joining. I wanted you to come back when you got more cities on more countries. But thank you so much for joining. It's been great to talk to you, Ting.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I hope to meet you face to face in the future, offline.
We will.
Someday in the future.
We will for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.